Welcome, Franklin sports fans, to Franklin High School Athletics. Today we'll be bringing you the boys lacrosse match against the Canton Bulldogs here from Franklin High School. They're just getting ready to toss the coin and say hello to each other before they start whacking each other with the sticks. I hope everybody survived their solar eclipse without looking directly at the sun. If I get anything wrong today, that's because I did look at the sun, and I probably shouldn't have. Wouldn't be the first time. Franklin's captains are number 18, Eddie O'Brien, number 22, Drew Hansen, and number 24, Matt Corvey. As Franklin has the ball in their offensive end, they'll work it around here. Back out to the top. Quinn Quilty takes a shot, no good. Goes wide, but it'll be Franklin ball just inside the end line. Another shot, no good by Franklin. That one was wide as well, but Franklin retains possession. It's number 11, Ryan Grasso over there. And Franklin scores. Let's see if I can get a number. I think that's one of the captains, number 22, Drew Hansen, with the first goal of the game, giving Franklin a 1-0 lead. Our referees today are Roland Cole and Mark Donnelly. And that face-off is going to be won by Canton. And Max Eagles with control. He gets bumped, drops the ball goes out of bounds, and a turnover to Franklin. Matt Corvey controlling it. He's the goalkeeper today. Now it's in the offensive end of the field. It's Quinn Kilty right there, number 10. There was a ball on the field, so they stopped play for a moment. Now on the far side of the field, comes back up top to Grasso. That was Kilty trying to shoot, and that shot was wide. Looked like it was Grasso on the attempt. Tried to keep it low and across the ground. Comes out, gets knocked around, and Canton ends up picking it up off the ground, and they move it up the field. Cullen O'Brien here on the near side, spins back, tosses it across the field over his teammate's head, and ends up gets knocked to the ground, and Franklin regains possession. And that's Grasso who is going to get it to the top. And number 18, Eddie O'Brien. It's O'Connor on the far side, back to O'Brien. And that's Grasso, number 11. O'Brien passes it over to number 22, Drew Hansen. His shot stopped by the keeper, and Canton will try to move the ball up the field. It's being held by the goalkeeper right now. And Canton gets the ball across the field. Goes down on the ground. Franklin puts the pressure on. And we're going to have a whistle. I think that was for a push, loose ball push. It'll be Canton ball. And they'll move it around the top of the offensive zone. Colin O'Brien over here is number 17 for Canton. Corvey throws it up, can't connect on the pass, and it will be Canton ball. 8 minutes left in the first quarter here from Pizzini Field at Franklin High School. It's Nick Crow. And that was, I believe, an offsides call. And ball goes down on the ground. Canton picks it up. That shot is saved by Corvey. Brendan Turgey, or Torgey, on the shot there. Grasso gets across midfield. Back out top to Hansen. Hansen over on the far side to... ends up back in Grasso. That was O'Connor on the far side. Ball's on the ground. Canton scoops. Runs. Connor Harney going up the far side of the field. And Canton will move the ball around as there are people walking in front of us with spears. So we are in a danger zone right now. If all of a sudden the game cuts out, just understand one of us may have taken a spear to the torso. Michael Sullivan is number 24 for Canton. He passed the ball over to number 22, Nolan Harney. Back to Sullivan. Sullivan lost the ball. And that is basically backcourt, me being a basketball ref. And Grasso's shot is wide, but Franklin will retain control. Halfway through the first period, 1-0 Franklin. As you can see in your screen, actually. But that was Seamus Conlon, number 33, on the far side. And Hansen, now ball goes behind the net. Kilty has it. Kilty goes down, gets back up, moves to the middle, and he scores. What a great athletic play by Quinn Kilty, who kind of stumbled, went down, got back up, and was able to put the ball in the net to make the score 2-0 Franklin. Face-off man for Franklin is number 7, Ben Patterson. Have a whistle there. Looks like it's going to be Cannonball. No, it's going to be Franklin ball. Looks like they had some kind of violation, and Conlon throws it over to the far side, gets it to O'Connor. O'Connor gets it out top. It's Grasso, pulls it back out. Kilty, who just scored that last goal. Sorry, that wasn't Grasso. That was Nate Walsh, number 17. Looks like Walsh still has a hold of it. O'Connor going back and forth. Underneath to C.J. Pirro, number 1. He lets the shot go. It's knocked by the goalkeeper. Goes out in the sideline, and it'll be Canton ball. Canton's going to start it up field. Connor Harney, number 10, is bringing it up the near side. Actually, now the goalkeeper has it. Number 2, Patrick Drury. Drury brought that all the way to the 35-yard line, and as he was doing it, you heard the Canton coach yell for a timeout. So with 3:55 left in the opening period, our score is the Franklin Panthers 2 and Canton nothing. We finally get a nice day out here. Again, we all appear to have survived the eclipse, so Franklin comes into this game with a record of 1-1 overall. Canton comes in at 1-0. Obviously, I'm sorry, wrong schedule. Franklin is 2-0 and 2-0 overall. Canton 1-0, and they're actually 1-1 overall, having played a non-league game. Canton will start with the ball. Drive to the net there. That goes wide. It's picked up by number 17, Cullen O'Brien. Gets it to number 22, Nolan Harney. Goes behind the net. And that shot deflected off a Panther. Was O'Brien's attempt. It deflected off one of the defensemen and went out of bounds. Canton will start it back up. That shot was high in the net, goes out of bounds. Canton ball. Another shot, that goes in. Right along the ground. Brendan Torgey, number 13, a senior for the Bulldogs, gets it past Corvey to make our score 2-1. be a illegal procedure against Canton. Franklin will take the ball, but then they put it on the ground, and it's picked up by Eagles for the Bulldogs. Gets it up into the offensive end to O'Brien. Looks like there may be a little extracurricular stuff brewing on the field as Corvey brings it up. Throws it across the field. Oh, Franklin loses that, tries to keep it in bounds, but it's going to go out of bounds, and it'll be Canton ball on the turnover. Canton gets it on the offensive end. Oh, gets it right in front. Great save by Corvey as number 26, Nick Crow, was right in his doorstep and let that go. And Corvey was able to get his stick up and block the shot and not allowed a rebound. Ball loose on the ground. Franklin scoops and goes. It gets knocked to the ground. Canton will go. Right. Gets moved around. Shot is wide. That shot attempt was Brendan Torgey. Canton will retain possession as we approach the 1 minute mark. Franklin picks that ball up. They'll move it up the field. Oh, tough attempt there trying to connect on the pass. It was for Zach Langevin, and he was unable to grab it, so it goes out of bounds. And Canton brings it up the field with 25 seconds left. And Owen Morrissey goes out of bounds. 21 seconds left. O'Brien will start with it. See if they can get a shot before the period expires. Grasso scores on that shot with 9.5 seconds left in the first period. Makes it 3-1, Franklin. The official talking to the face-off guys. Blows a whistle, and it gets scooped by Canton. It's on the ground, and that's going to be, they're going to have a couple of flags there, a couple of more flags. We're going to have So you're going to have multiple penalties. See how the officials handle this. As a lot of that extracurricular stuff was after the whistle. So at the end of the first period, the score is 3-1 Franklin. Multiple flags thrown as Franklin coach Lou Veracchi is waiting to find out from the officials exactly what's going to happen here. So now Franklin, Coach Veracchi, and the Canton coach are talking to both officials, trying to explain what they had occur there or what penalties the officials are going to call as a result of what happened after the whistle. So we're hearing through my well-placed source that it appears no one will be ejected. There'll be multiple penalties, and the players who are called for the penalties will be locked in to the penalty box. So, looks like there's just a single penalty on each team. Looks like one of them is either for Canton Crow. It looks like number 26. And I can't see the number on the Franklin player. So Canton ends up, nope, now the ball's back on the ground. Franklin gets it, drops it. Canton gets it. Canton was out of bounds, so it's white ball. Canton will move it around. I'm sorry, Franklin will move it around. So the Franklin penalty is on Zach Langevin. The Franklin penalty is a 3-minute penalty. And the penalty against Crow was a 2-minute penalty. Both of them locked in. So if a team scores, the guys still remain locked in and the penalty's still in force. Oh, off the post. Nice try there by McAvoy for the Panthers. hit the stick of the goaltender and then hit the post. O'Brien trying to find a seam. It's going to be Canton ball. As Seamus Brown was able to get to it before McAvoy. Drury, the goaltender, will bring the ball at least halfway up the field. And Canton ends up scoring. Number 28, Dylan Albert, gets the goal against Corby, makes the score 3-2. There is 12 seconds left in the Canton penalty and a minute 12 in the Franklin. So Canton will have a one-player advantage. So the Canton penalty's over. They'll be up a man. And not sure if that's a timeout. I think it is. It looks like it. So Franklin with the 3-2 lead, just under 10 minutes left. Jay Horrigan here at Franklin High School. Feels good to be finally outside with there being no rain. Looks like Franklin will start with the ball on the far side. Hanson will start play on the whistle. Ball gets knocked out of Hanson's. Canton now in control, up a player for another 30 seconds. Shot's wide. Canton will retain it. Nice attempt there by Brandon Torgey. Torgey unable to corral that. He still trying to scoop it off the ground. So Franklin back to even strength. And they will take a little time here to regather themselves. Working it all the way around the field. Everybody getting a touch. And that shot was wide. But Franklin retains possession. McAvoy to O'Brien to Hanson out top. Hanson's shot just wide. That shot goes in, gets in under the legs, and I think it was Grasso who scored there. Number 11 makes our score 4-2 in favor of the Panthers. 8 minutes left in the first half. Franklin's able to pick that up. Alex Weber was the one who was able to field it. Gets it back to Corvey. And long pass. And that'll end up being Canton's ball. Gets it over to the goalie. Yep, that's going to be a violation. You only have 20 seconds to get it over the midfield line. And Franklin comes right back and scores. And two more players are going to get into it with each other. So there appeared to have been a broken stick on that play. You probably heard the parents yelling about it. Oh, that deflected. Franklin unable to control ball on the ground now. Still on the ground. Still fighting for it. Still on the ground. And that'll be Canton ball. 6.5 minutes left. Nice pass there to Nolan Harney. Ends up back on the ground, gets picked up by number 1, Olsen Brogan. Sure, I'm mispronouncing that one. Canton working it around their offensive end. It's it out top to O'Brien. O'Brien gets it over to number 6, Colin Blake. Back to O'Brien. Bryan, a low screamer, gets it by Corby and makes our total 5-3. 5:41 left in the first half. Illegal procedure there, so Franklin will take the ball, move it into their offensive end. Grasso has it on the far side. Gets it to Hansen. And Hansen has gotten it up top to number 18, O'Brien. O'Brien will see what he can do. Gets it to Grasso. And there's a save by Drury. Drury gets it way upfield to Crow. That was, I believe, a warding call against Canton. So Franklin gets it up and gets a shot off and gets a goal by Damian Tarantino. A goal from the long pole, bringing it all the way up and putting it in the back of the net, making the score 6-3 now. That's still on the ground there. Canton gains control. O'Brien moved it around the back of the net, then overthrows his teammate. Comes down into the Franklin end. So Franklin will set up in their offense again. And that's a goal. I believe it was O'Brien who scored that one, the 7th. Ball to find the back of the net for the Panthers so far today. 7-3 our score, 4 minutes left. All the players, that's not picked up yet. Still on the ground. Gets knocked forward. Franklin finally gains control of it. Frollo, I'm sorry, misread that number. That's Flynn Baker, number 27, and that was a ward against Franklin. Gasper. That shot is blocked. Still on the ground, though. picked up. Number 9. So Canton has control. 2.5 minutes left. Drury jogging it up the field. And there'll be a timeout, I believe, by Canton. Doing a stick check here. So 2.5 minutes left in the second period. 7-3 our score. Franklin in the lead. So feels like an extra long timeout. So they're going to blow it back into play. And Torgey will have control of it. Throws it around the back of the net. Harney with the ball. Being defended there by Harrington. Back out top to Blake. Blake trying to find an opening. On the ground, picked up by Brody Baldiga. Canton just trying to find an opening, unable to do so. But we end up having a whistle. I think it's going to be Canton ball. Looked like that almost went in the net, but maybe someone just touched the net. Anyway, Corvy's going to bring it at least partially up the field. Going to try to get it over midfield. Oh, nice stop there by Drury. Franklin was all over him as we hit under a minute. Canton working it around. Again, trying to find an opening. And they are able to find an opening pass. Corby Torgy with the goal. 7-4, 32.4 left in the first half. In which it has been an entertaining and contentious first half. Although it does seem like some of the extracurricular has calmed down a bit. Whistle there to start it. Ball still on the ground. Picked up by Franklin, and immediately a timeout was picked up by Harrington. So that timeout occurred with 26 and a half seconds left. So Franklin is back on the field, and here comes Canton. Hanson will start with the ball at the 45-yard line as it gets whistled in. Hanson tries to get around. Nice pass. Ends up scoring. He made a nice little dump to McAvoy, and McAvoy quickly got it into the net. Makes our score 8-4, 18 seconds left. Ball loose on the ground. And Franklin ends up getting it. Under 10 left. And that'll end up going out of bounds. And the clock will hit triple zeros and we'll have a horn. So that'll do it for the first half. From Franklin High School and Pizzini Field at halftime, the score is your Franklin Panthers 8 and the Canton Bulldogs 4. We'll be back. But if you could, that would be great. Yeah, supposed to be. Thank you. Welcome back to Franklin TV's coverage of Franklin High School athletics. Again, we're coming to you live on YouTube from Pizzini Field at Franklin High School. This is the second half of the Franklin Canton Boys Lacrosse game. Our score is 8-4 as we start the second half. Franklin has possession of the ball. I think that's McAvoy. Had been McAvoy on the far side, number 9. Back out top to Grasso. Grasso gets it down low to Pero. Ends up back up top in the stick of O'Brien. O'Brien's going to try to make something happen here. Goes to his left. Circles back, pulls back out. Nice little spin move. Gets a step on the defender. Got by number 8, Ritson Rory, and scores. So O'Brien puts it in just over a minute into the third quarter. Score is 9-4. Franklin. That ball's on the ground. Ends up getting picked up by Eagles. Canton moving it around. Drops it. Blake moving into the net. And that goes off the post and out, and going to be Franklin ball. Franklin gets over midfield. They're going to move it around as they get set up. Franklin just taking their time here. Still on the ground. So two teams fight for it. Franklin gains control. Pass over to the far side. Grasso inside. And that was a shot. Nice save. Ends up losing it, being picked up by Grasso. That was O'Brien's shot. Hansen moving around. Gets it to Kilty. Kilty to his left. His shot is wide, and it'll go over to Canton. Drury gets that. It goes past midfield, picked up by number 17, O'Brien. Eventually back down on the ground, picked up by number 13. Torgey for Canton, and then Franklin regains possession. Gets it back to Corvey, who tosses it half the length of the field, goes out of bounds, and it'll be Canton ball. Baldiga bringing it, gets it across midfield. Stops and starts again. Canton working around the far side of the field. Torgey trying to make a move. I think that was a warding against Canton, so it's Franklin ball. So Franklin gets it across midfield, and they'll set up to work their offense. Perro moving around. Gets hit a couple of times, holds on to the ball. Gets it over to O'Brien. O'Brien attacking the right side this time. Nice little crossover move. Lets the shot go, no good. And that's going to be Canton ball. Drury, the goaltender, has it. He gets it over to Morris. Back to Drury. And he gets over midfield. And gets it to O'Brien. O'Brien makes a break for it, and it gets knocked out of his stick. Picked up by number 16, Harrington. Harrington now with the ball back. He'll get across midfield. And he'll get whacked a couple of times. There was a whistle. So, I am not sure what was said, but one of the referees said something to the parents. So they'll come back from the timeout. Score still 9-4, 5:49 left in the third quarter. And that gets blown back in. That shot attempt is wide, attempted by Conlon, number 33. Looks like Conlon again with the ball. Gets it back up top to Walsh. Nate Walsh, number 17. To Quinn Kilty. Circles back to his right, lets the shot go. Nice save by Drury. Unable to hold on to it. And the Franklin pass is going to roll out of bounds. But there's going to be a loose ball push on that, so Franklin will maintain control. So Canton on the fast break here, although Franklin gets back. Ends up stepping out of bounds, as does the Canton player. That's a miss pass there, goes back to Canton. O'Brien swings it around. Ball gets in the middle, and it's going to end up rolling out of bounds, and we're going to have Franklin ball. Conlon's pass was not complete. It goes back to Canton. They knock it on the ground. And Franklin regains control. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be Canton ball. Crow advanced it up. Morrissey with it, tosses it back to his teammate behind the net, Albert. They work it around. Oh, nice cutting player there. Blake, and his pass gets intercepted by Flynn Baker. Baker will advance it up the field. And that pass gets knocked to the ground. Franklin scoops it. And looks like they'll settle it down a bit. Hanson with the ball. O'Brien now at the top. Gets it over to Grasso. That shot is wide, goes out of bounds. It'll be Franklin ball. Perro brings it in. Grasso. Back to Hanson. Hanson trying to come up with a play. And that ends up going in. Nice right-handed shot there by Hanson. Number 22, one of the captains, Drew Hanson, with another goal. 10-4. Our score. 2:09 left in the third. Still on the ground. Franklin scoops it and is able to gain control. Langevin is going to set things up top. Drops the ball for Grasso. And Grasso gets it to O'Brien, back to Grasso. Grasso moves to his right, low shot, skips along the ground, goes under Drury for goal number 11 for the Panthers. Minute and a half left. Ben Patterson to face off for the Panthers. He loses the faceoff to Eagles of Canton. Eagles has done very well today. Albert, and back up top to Sullivan. Oh, errant pass by Sullivan goes out of bounds. Franklin will start the attack up the field. Patterson trying to get over midfield. He does. Gets whacked a couple of times, passes the ball, ends up on the ground, picked up by Canton. It's a flag down. So we're going to have a penalty here. So it's going to go against Franklin. And it's going to go against Patterson on that hit, but kind of behind the play. So Canton will start being a man up for 30 seconds. Canton off the post, and it'll be Canton ball. That shot attempt, I think, was from Dylan Albert. Oh, nice pass in the middle. So that was a crease violation that caused the turnover. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. So our score at the end of 3, Franklin 11 and Canton 4. There'll be 9 seconds left on the penalty to Patterson. So both teams come back out on the field to start the fourth stanza. It's going to be Franklin in control. O'Brien working the left side of the defense. O'Connor, number 2, got the ball, passed it to Grasso. Grasso gets it to Hansen. O'Brien gets it to Hansen. Hansen tosses it around. Franklin here basically just working on the clock. Some nice moves there by Langevin. O'Brien now seeing what he can do. Behind the net. Over to Hansen. It's Kilty. Gets it over to Grasso. Franklin's been able to eat about 2 minutes of this clock. Nice check there by, I think it was Rory on O'Connor. There's a flag there. So there's going to be a penalty against Franklin. And a score. That was number 17, Cullen O'Brien with the Bulldog goal. So there'll be a penalty against Franklin. Against Grasso. Looked like the call was for a slash. Loose ball push. The ball will go to Franklin. Down a man. So they'll try to eat some more of this clock. Langevin moving the ball around. I think that's Perro on the far side. So they've chewed up half of that penalty. Down to about 20 seconds left. 8.5 minutes left in the game. Hansen just controlling the ball this entire last 30 seconds of the penalty. Nice jump there by Langevin to get that pass. Gets it out to Grasso, who's back in from the penalty. Grasso tried to get it to Hansen. Hansen unable to control it. Ball's on the ground. Player on the ground. And back in control. Oh, now it's lost again, and Canton picks it up. And, ooh. I think we had a timeout, Green. Also looked like that player got tripped up by a turf monster there. You don't see them, but they're out there. We encourage you to subscribe to our 3 YouTube channels. There's All Access, there's Pride, and there's Government TV. You subscribe to all of them on YouTube, you'll get a notification of whenever we go live with any event. You can set it up. A lot of the high school sporting events and other events in town, we do carry live, not all of them, because multiple events happen on the same day as we're bringing you this lacrosse game. There's also a softball game being played that our fearless cameraman Chris Flynn is covering. So here we go. Corvey with the save. Corvey gets it across midfield. Goes to McCarthy at that point. A long pole. McCarthy will head back to the defensive end. And O'Brien will come over and join Grasso up top. It's Langevin to McAvoy to, I think that's O'Connor. And that's a save. Franklin ball here. O'Brien kind of controlling things up top. Hansen seeing what he can do. Oh, nice spin move. The shot went high, but McAvoy was closest, so he'll start it off behind the net. He'll come around, and he scores. McAvoy scores there on his own. Gives Franklin a 7-goal lead, 12-5 with 5:53 to play. Eagles unable to control it. Franklin controls it. It's Patterson with the ball. Conlon up top along with Kilty. Langevin in there on offense. Perro. And nice save by Drury on Langevin's shot. The other player on the offensive end was McAvoy for the Panthers. Long pass upfield is completed to Nick Crow. Shot out of bounds. Canton was offside, so Franklin will take over. And Corvey will try to get the ball up the field. Gets dropped but picked up by Hansen on the far side. Hansen comes this way. Gets it to Langevin. Behind the net to McAvoy. McAvoy surveying the situation. Makes a couple of moves. Gets it to Langevin. Little low pass. So he had to pull it out. Hansen on the far side. I'm sorry. It's Conlon. Conlon shot. Nice save by Drury. Drury's actually played fairly well. This game could be much further out of control. 3.5 minutes left. Franklin up 12-5. Franklin TV is coming to you live on YouTube or delayed on Franklin TV. Nate Walsh gets that up the field. It's on the ground. Couple of collisions. Langevin ends up with the ball in his stick, and he drops it for Hansen. And that gets knocked out. Under 3 minutes left. Nice hit there by McAvoy. Hansen brings it back out. 2:41 left. Franklin content with just eating clock here. Kilty back to Hansen to Langevin. Also there, Perro, number 1 in the offensive end. I think that's, can't tell if that's number 20. Do know that's McAvoy, number 9. And in the middle, it may be 28. Lampazona. Kilty to get it going. Under 2 left. In what started off as a closely fought contest with a lot of extra pushing and shoving. Officials made a couple of calls, seemed to get it into control, and then Franklin put the ball in the net a handful of times and kind of opened this up. And we're at 12-5 now. All the animosity has gone out of the game. That's right. Multiple syllables there. McAvoy goes to his right, gets knocked down. Ball loose right in front of the crease. Still no one has it. And a push on White, so it'll be a Canton ball with 45 seconds left. Seamus Brown gets the ball across the field. Then loses it. 33.9 left. Okay, the ball in the offensive end of the field. Even with 30 seconds left, Franklin's still working on their offense. Canton able to take over. Brogan. Oh, off the post, I think, or crossbar. 2.8 left. $1.6. So there'll be a penalty against Franklin. I think it was an offside penalty. Doesn't matter. The 1.6 rolls off the clock. So that'll do it here from Pizzini Field. Franklin with a 12-5 victory over the Kent Bulldogs go to 3-0 on this young season in boys lacrosse. For Franklin TV, we want to thank you for watching us on YouTube and on Franklin TV. For the almighty Chris Leveron, who is in charge of everything when I'm not with my wife, I want to thank him. I'm Jay Horrigan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Franklin TV.